Clear as crystal, clear as air, make my form fine and fair. As I will it, so it must be. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in today. Wherever you're at, whether you're driving in your car or walking the dog or coming home from work, I really appreciate that people are holding space for me and trusting me with some of these topics that I'm talking about, because it's just, good to chat, good to get some stuff out and share different points of view, different opinions. I am here with my cup of tea, and today I am going to be going with the poll that I put up the other day, which was asking which video do you think I should do next, and it ended up being beauty magic or glamour magic. And this is a really common topic around witches, around occultists, spiritual community. It's just such a hot topic, regardless, even if you're not, that way inclined. And I thought that I would, give it a go. Probably keep this to one part. I'm trying so hard to keep these videos shorter. I love to chat. So this is a very personal topic to talk about, because when we talk, let's get aggressively real. Like when we talk about magic, we are talking about transferring of energy, and especially around magic to do with doing magic on yourself, being a magical being. First of all, do you have the power to make change on yourself? Yes, you do. And that's why this is such a very gentle and soft topic that I'm going to tread firm where I need to, but I'm going to tread lightly where I need to as well, because I believe that fundamentally, if you don't have a strong base in yourself and you don't have a strong sense of worth, you don't have a strong sense of power in your own self, then thinking about practicing magic is really just a complete waste of time. And that is the truth. You really, to do magic, real magic, and really make changes in your life, it is increments and it is small, very small steps. And, everything builds on everything that we do. So all of the experiences that you've had, all of the heartbreak, all of the suffering, all of the love, it all makes you who you are, makes you where you are now. It's all connected. So when I just said to you that if you don't have a power base in yourself, well, you can summon deity, you can call out to deity, you can even call out for help. Whenever I hear stuff like, you have all the answers inside of you, no, we have all the answers within each of us. Collectively, we are a collective consciousness. So different parts of me help other people, different parts of you help me, and that's how it is. So when we share knowledge and we come down for the human experience, we're all kind of mirrors to each other in so many ways, and our knowledge and how we share what we know with each other, and how all of these learning experiences, the good and the bad, it's all collectively one. So no one has all the answers inside of them. We look for answers, we find answers where we need to. So I hope that kind of made sense a little bit. So it's important to be very realistic with this topic, because I don't want to make some BS video that is just light and fluffy and it's all glitter and sparkles and unicorns and shit like that. That's not realistic. And I actually, thinking of the topic of glamour magic or beauty magic, this is as heavy as shadow work for me. It really is. And if anyone out there is doing magic, 9 times out of 10, they're doing magic to get revenge against someone. They're doing magic to get money, or get enough money that they need to get that house, or they're doing magic to get a job, or they're doing magic to look beautiful, or to improve or heighten or enhance their own beauty. And living in society today, these days, I mean, it's hard enough as it is just to exist in no matter what, in so many different ways, in different demographics, in different cultures. It's just such a lawless world out there right now. And the beauty standards of society, particularly Western society, are just off the chart. They're absolutely crippling. They're insane. They make no sense. So that being said, it really is about, inching your way along a ledge, finding what works for you and finding what doesn't work for you. Now, typically in my life now, I am 36. I'm heading into my 40s in the next 4 years. So I am not really inclined so much to partake or even do magic of this nature. To me, glamour magic is a form of sympathetic magic. It is a form of, candle magic, but it can be so much more than that. And that's why I want to be very careful with what I say in this video, because it quintessentially is looking at yourself and looking at the parts of yourself that you want to change. I mean, so even the mere concept that you are considering doing magic on yourself to look different or change something about you in a different way, well, then that would have to imply to begin with that you're already feeling insecure, you're already feeling underconfident, you're already questioning your own worth to begin with. Remember when I did my video on polarity a few videos back last week or the week before? I was talking about, in order to have something that you don't want, there has to be something that you do want. So I would focus on the psychological aspects of what you are really asking for when it comes to making a change in your own physical appearance. Because let me get this really clear with you now, crystal clear. A massive component of glamour magic is mind magic. It is manipulation of source energy, but it's psychological. Okay, so if you clicked on this video just because you want me to tell you a magical chant, and then you're going to get some rose water and rub it across your face and sit in front of a mirror, this is not the video for you. So there is no quick fix to that. Why? Well, I'm going to jump straight into it. Why is because there are laws to this physical reality, this 3D reality. As much as the spirits are everywhere, entities are everywhere, and we're all magical beings and we all have magical abilities, whether they're untapped or tapped, whatever, whether you're working on them actively, they are there. And so the laws of this dimension are the Hermetic principles, which are the standard 101 laws for this reality. And those laws still apply to us in some capacity. Can we bend or break them? Can we bend or break the laws of physics? Yes, we can, but only for a temporary time. And this is something that I, unfortunately, am also coming to terms with. And trust me, I'm going to tell you some stories in this video about glamour magic and about my experiences with it, but also the darker side of what this is as well. So you know what I'm like. First up, housekeeping. The laws of this reality are the law of gravity, the law of conservation of energy, the law of resonance, the law of attractions. So these things, you can look them up. If you're into witchcraft, you should know them by now. They're standard 101 stuff. So I have to ask myself, what is it and why do I want to make a change? Because what is it about me that I'm really not encompassing? Am I trying to change something based on society's needs for me to look a certain way so I can gain social capital, or that way people will like me more? Because humans, we are tribal species. And yes, our value to the tribe is paramount to how we are, to our survival. So we want people to want us. We want people to desire us. We want to feel desired. We want to feel, when someone looks at us and holds that gaze, that we feel special. We want that. And it's a natural thing that we all want, but within reason as well. So I am 36, and that is the physical age that I have lived to so far in terms of moon cycles, in terms of like Earth rotation, in terms of the measurement of linear time. And time is unfortunately one of those laws that we face. My physical body is organic matter, just like you, and we are all going to face aging. Aging is a natural process of life. And it's something that, you know, in Western culture or just in general, we tend to look at it in a way where we don't want to see it. We don't want to acknowledge it. We want to push it away. We want to pretend it's not happening, but it is happening and it's going to happen. And fighting this with everything that we have, with pills and potions and injections and da-da-da-da-da, in the end is ultimately futile, because we're all going to revert back to that stage that we did when we came into the earth and came into this physical embodiment. But that's not to say that we shouldn't be working hard to take care of ourselves, look after ourselves, you know, go do the, you know, get our heart, you know what I mean, basic standard care 101. So yeah, I will say that. Now, contrary to what people might think, I have to say it, there are laws to what I can't change in that regard. I'm a male. I am born male. That's the chromosome that I got when I came into this physical experience. I can be whatever I want in my head, and I can ask other people to call me whatever I want them to, but fundamentally, that's the genetic code that I was given, that I when spirit came down into the human form, and it was in a womb, it came out, and that's what it is. I can't change that. I can't have a womb. I'm not going to be a woman. I have the utmost respect for anyone that identifies in any way that they want to in their head, and I in turn also want respect as well. So I call people whatever they say they are. I will treat them as such. And that's the truth. That being said, you know, if you're a witchy person like me, well, you're probably on the fringes of society. You're probably cast away, pushed away. And that's why I have so much respect for people that really walk a path that is very different, and they come across in a way that, you know, they like trans people. I have a lot of trans friends, and they're the most beautiful people. I'm all for like rights of people. You know, that's what it is. Okay, so off the subject of that, the other day someone asked me where I stood with that. Of course, that's how I stand with it. I'm all about equal love. I'm all about being kind. That being said, on the other side of that, you know, to a point, to a sense, I'm not going to get down and kiss your ass and tell you how wonderful you are and, you know, just treat you any different. I'm going to treat you exactly how you treat me. We're going to, that's what it is. It's a respect thing. It's just how I see it. And to me, your gender is the least interesting thing about you, you know. And even as I'm getting older now, I don't really necessarily care very much about aesthetic. As you can tell, I am a man with a mind, and I am interested in what's going on in your head, what's going on in your heart, because souls don't have genders. I know that sounds weird to believe, but your soul... Okay, so when we talk about beauty and we talk about appearance, as I have seen it in the astral world, you actually don't have... you don't look the way that you look here in this physical form. In an astral form, you're actually very different. And I would say that a lot of people would be completely shocked if they saw themselves as they really are. And some people... dare I say most people, are monstrous. Fucking monstrous. A dark soul is a dark soul. And it doesn't matter how aesthetically pretty you are or how beautiful you appear to be in the outside world. You can be a very pretty flower. But there are so many other pretty flowers out there that are not special. So what I'm saying is, if you're shallow as shit and you have no personality and you have no light in your soul, and you are a narcissist or a sadist or a psychopath, then, I mean, it's just... And there's nothing more common than a pretty person with a pretty package on the outside, but when you get to know them, they are vile. They're detestable. They are very difficult to be around, and energetically they are spiritually filthy. So many, so many. Sometimes when I'm very weak and I'm vulnerable, it happens to me as well as everyone. There are days when my force field, my energetic levels are low or whatever, and I might go out as an extrasensory and just go outside and get on a train or go out in public. Oh my goodness, I have to be so careful, because when I look at people, as I'm starting to transcend in my head into this other thing. I don't know what's happening with me, by the way. Some people have picked it up already, but I don't know if I'm starting to merge back to source already, but I'm starting to see people as they truly are. And it's really quite sickening and disturbing when I see energy, because energy can't lie. Energy doesn't lie. It can't lie. And that's the scary thing, is that you can appear a certain way, but underneath, if it's not real, then basically what I'm saying is it's very difficult to sustain something that is not real. Anyway, this is getting so fucking heavy, but yeah, it's the truth. And this is my truth. So yeah, I call you whatever you say you are. I will answer. I will call you that. I'm totally, if I'm going out there and saying, hey, I'm a dark magician, I'm a wizard, I'm a warlock, I'm fill in the blanks. Well, of course, I'm going to have to do that for other people. Of course I am. And I'm going to be a big advocate for anyone who is marginalized and disenfranchised, because coming to the left-hand path, it is about building people up. It's not about pulling people down. Also, before I get deeper into this video, is that this is only my interpretation. I'm only sharing my stories and my perspectives of my reality, and your reality is different to mine. So we're not going to see the same people. We can't all see the same things. We just can't. And that is what makes life so wonderful and spicy and interesting, is that we are all spirits having a human experience. Okay, so yeah, I hope that made sense. So nothing I can say it's not personal. I'm not attacking you. Nothing about this is like a direct shot at you if you're listening to this. It's just someone out there sharing their knowledge, sharing their stories, and sharing what they've acquired. And you'll either receive this and relate to it and go, yes, yeah, I totally get it, or maybe not. And that's okay too. Anyway, I'm also going to get out of the habit of asking people, or not asking, but saying, hey, subscribe if you want. You do what you want to do. Like, if you want to subscribe to the channel, then you do it. You subscribe. Probably the best thing ever to help me or help someone that you're supporting of their work and you're very appreciative, and is probably just to share this post, I guess, because that way at least it just kind of gets it out there more and gets more people out there that might need to hear this as well. So yeah, so let's get back to the topic at hand, beauty magic. Okay, so have you ever been around someone that just accentuates beauty? They have this glow about them. They have this enthusiastic energy about them that is just so vivacious and so fucking sexy. They're confident. They've got this shine about them. And when you look into their eyes, you see this light, you see this energy, this passion, and this, that right there, I think, is beauty. Beauty in itself is really in the beholder. What I think is beautiful, someone else may not. But it really is about the light of the soul. That is truly what I believe beauty to be. So it would be trying to get around, first of all, you'd have to understand that having a beautiful personality is not beauty magic. A personality could be like an introvert or an extrovert. That is a personality type. That is not beauty magic as such. So you can't, or there isn't, and there shouldn't be any type of magic that can really change your personality Why? Because your personality is your unique expression of who you are, of the being that you are, of the person that you are. We can integrate other elements of other people into that personality, but we will always be what we are. I hope that made sense. For example, as we are all split off each other and mirrors to each other and shadow and light and all different contrasts of that, a really simple way to explain that would be when you idolize someone, they have to have a quality that you want. They have to have an energy that you want to imbue into yourself and integrate into yourself. So that's why having role models or having people that we look up to in the media or in the public or celebrities, they play a crucial role in life in a lot of ways because they become like a figurehead, a godhead in a way, in consumerism and Western culture and capitalism, where we're trying to integrate a person into us. So and it will always match the vibration of what we are. Say, for example, you're a young girl and you are a little bit like rebellious, a little bit naughty, you like a little bit of grunge and you like pop music. Well, then you probably gravitate towards like Avril Lavigne and have a poster of her on your wall. So you're trying to integrate or kind of pay homage to that energy that you're trying to bring into yourself. That's what we're doing. And every moment of life that we're here, we are either choosing to actively bring something closer to us and close the gap of space and distance from us to that being or that object, or we're pushing it away and rejecting it. But to do that, we have to have a part of us in us that we're also rejecting. I hope that made sense. So people that, for example, may be homophobic, that would be they are fearful of the part of themselves that they're rejecting. So they're pushing away the part of that person because that has the qualities in themselves that they themselves don't like. That's shadow work. Yeah, shadow work 101, really common. So we have to really understand, like, what is beauty to you? What is beauty? What is glamour? And I think that when we look at the word glamour, we have to look at kind of in a positive way. It is makeup, sparkles. It is that energy that is exciting, excitable to be around. It's positive. People want to be around positivity. And so it is, in a way, personally, really about psychology and how you really see yourself. So you can enchant a potion, or you could enchant something around you. You could, have a flower bath that you could do. You could do a lot of prayer. A lot of mantras are very good, where you're reaffirming to yourself psychologically that you are what you say you are. Like, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am special, I am da-da-da-da-da. You're affirming that every day, even if it is like, just looking at something on a wall, or it could be a visualization. As we know, when it comes to magic, visualization is everything. If you can't visualize the change that you want in yourself, or the change you want to see in the environment or the circumstance and situation, then it's probably not going to really happen for you. That's why, personally speaking, I amplify energy back into myself. So I want to make my house a palace. I want to make my bedroom amazing. I want to have people around me that are passionate and excitable and interesting and introspective like myself, because that funnels energy back into myself again and helps me grow. When you live in a really oppressive situation, you're not really going to be vibrating at a high frequency. So in other words, if you live in a shithole and you're not planning actively to get out of that situation, well, you're not like, how are you going to get out of that if you can't visualize how that would change? Same with any type of shape shifting of the body. If you want to lose 100 pounds of weight, then you have to really visualize what that would look like, what that would feel like. What would it feel like to be skinny or skinnier, to be lighter, to go out into the sun and wear the clothes that you want to wear, or do the activities that you want to do? You might feel prohibited right now. So that could be a part of it. So it's about your own sense of self-worth and self-expression, and how the world sees us is also going to go hand in hand with how we see ourselves. Hence, when we see a really beautiful person, we kind of know, and science has proven that humans are hypergamous, and it's also proven that aesthetically people that look a certain way have more opportunities in life. You know, that is a very hard pill to swallow, but it is scientifically true. And we can't just rule out science just because we're in the occult. So at some point, I believe science and magic have to merge. Science and spirituality must merge. So in a way, we are already kind of encapsulating glamour magic when we wear makeup or do our hair or change the clothes that we wear. We are, in a way, glamorizing or accentuating features of ourselves to enhance them. So to make, like, women wearing fake eyelashes to make their eyes look bigger, to give it a cat eye, to make their eye look more exaggerated in a way, to create a way that they want to express themselves. That is a form of magic. The concept of magic and beauty is, in a way, when I look at those two, it is changing or altering or shifting or distorting even the perception of how the outside world sees you. And this is something that goes without saying. It goes with culture. It goes all around the world. Whatever you may come from, different cultures have different beauty standards. There's some really, really interesting ones in Africa. There's some really interesting ones in Papua New Guinea. No matter where you go, there are so many different interpretations of what is beautiful and how that trickles down into your culture and your influences. Say, for example, you're not happy with, your skin color. You're not happy with your eye color. Well, then what is it about your heritage that you're not really embracing? What is it about that? Is it that, for example, I have a girlfriend that I do shadow work with, and one of the things is she doesn't like the way that she looks in the mirror because she doesn't have a good relationship with her biological mother. And her mother was very evil and cruel and used to like spray her with hairspray and, torture her as a little girl. And so every time she looks at herself, she sees her evil mother in the mirror. So she's trying to, and that's very, very dangerous. And we can do that at times because what she's doing is she's funneling energy of the hatred she has for this other person that was so cruel to her, but then internalizing it and putting it back onto herself as a grown woman, which is really very, very dangerous. So there's a lot of that would require parts work in psychology, getting a little bit psychology. That would require some type of introspective shadow work where we're trying to break a thought process or a habit of thought, which is very difficult to do, particularly when it comes to what you look like. Because when we look in the mirror, we tend to kind of look at what we don't like. We tend to want to look at the parts of us that we don't think is quote unquote beautiful. But if we can come to terms with the truth of that, is that you are fucking amazing just the way you are. You don't need to change. If you want to change, is it coming from a place authentically within you just wanting a change? Or is this more about trying to fit in? Like I said, I have a lot of respect for people that are really out there, but like goths or people that are really kind of, because society has places for people, certain places for people where it's kind of throws people away. It puts them in this, in a box and they can't get out. And as witches or occult people, we have to be really honest about that. Because if I came into a psychiatrist's office and was talking on this level to a psychiatrist, they would prescribe medication for that train of thought. Okay, like that's the truth. Like it is what it is. So we have to, like, I can have a laugh about that, but to a certain point, I'm also going to speak directly to my heart and from my heart as well. Now, there are signs, obviously, that are going to be more inclined to this video and maybe more, inclined to the shadow side of this video. aka good old mate Leo. Hello, Leo. You guys are the biggest culprits of all when it comes to any type of like beauty magic or any type of change of physical reality. And it really is as simple as that. You guys are constantly in a place of wanting to affirm beauty in yourself. That ruling sun energy that comes from the sun is so prevalent with you guys because you need validation. You need to be told that you are beautiful. You need the outside world to integrate with you in a way that makes you feel secure, which in a way can become incredibly toxic to be around if you are a darker sided Leo and you are narcissistic. All right. And now remember, when we talk about narcissism, that is a personality disorder. That's not something that you can click your fingers and it will change or go away. You're not, like I said in my What is a Narcissist, How to Deal with Them, that's not going to change. You can have narcissistic tendencies, which I think we all do to some capacity, especially if you are a leader. Leaders tend to have, like, I believe being a leader in general does have a narcissistic tone to it. And that goes without saying, it is what it is. But I'm just trying to give you a picture of what I'm trying to, say here. So yeah, Leos need, if a Leo doesn't look good, they don't feel good. Let's just put it that way. Let's just keep it really simple. I hope this isn't getting all too complicated. So now, when it comes to beauty magic, I'm going to share a story with you now where some may say changing hair texture, changing facial shapes, changing your body is not possible. And to a certain capacity, it's not. But I am going to say this little story. When I was actually 18 and I discovered, I was getting more into the craft, and I had a very, very close girlfriend at the time. We weren't together. We were just best friends. We were getting up to all sorts of mischief with the craft. We were, messing around with things we shouldn't be. And of course, I've paid my dues. I've come full circle. I've learned the hard way. I've learned that some doors shouldn't be gone near. Some things shouldn't be touched. I have way more of a respect for the craft. And but back then I didn't, and I didn't really understand, getting to the bottom of things and trying to figure stuff out. I didn't give a fuck about that. I just wanted to find a book, whether it was Gardner or Cunningham or, yes, Aleister Crowley, whatever it was. I was trying to get my hands on it, the Satanic Bible, whatever it was, and I would just jump straight in, feet first. And I got my ass handed to me quite a few times, magically speaking. So generally with a beauty magic or any type of glamour magic, it would be for a situation like you're trying to go on a date, you're trying to attract someone, you're trying to increase your magnetism of yourself to someone else, or you're trying to boost energy, boost morale, trying to get that job, you're going for a job interview, like whatever it is you're trying to do, you are trying to really put your best foot forward. Because let's face it, and it's been said and try time and time again, without our projection, we are nothing. That is true. That is 100% true. If I wasn't in a physical form, then I can't be in the physical. Without a beating heart, then I'd be an object. I'd be vibrating at a different frequency. So the projection and how that's interpreted is so important. Now in this society, more than ever. That's why everyone's trying to, change something about themselves. Like, obviously I've got green eyes. So I accept that I will always have green eyes. Okay. I can wear contact lenses. I can try and change the eye color. I can dye my hair a different color. But as far as magic goes, those limitations will always be there. Okay. Anyway, so at the time I went to a public library with my girlfriend and we were raiding all the shelves. And back then, this stuff, they had a few different books on different things, or we'd order books. It was very undercover. We had to be very sneaky. Back then it was like eBay or something. And we'd get the books and we'd try and perform little spells and rituals, and that didn't work, and try this. And this particular time, we did a beauty spell. And of course, surprise, surprise, it was more of the darker side of beauty spell. Now, this wasn't like sacrificing an animal and putting its blood on me or anything to do with like a shift of energy of young to old, which, by the way, is actually possible. I don't do it, just for the record. But yes, so we had a black mirror. Now, if you're a witch, you probably know the emphasis on a mirror. A mirror is a very powerful tool. It can and will be used for witchcraft, used for portal work, whatever it is that you're doing. But a black mirror is a mirror that has black glass generally, or it has some kind of paint over the top of it, but you can still see the polish, which makes the reflection. And what we would do is sit there, and I was really into this, like with a candle for hours, and you move it around slowly with the moonlight behind you, and it kind of distorts the way that you see your face. So in a way, it's kind of changing and distorting and shape-shifting your own physical appearance based on your own projection back to you. Now, that's great if it's just you and you're trying to change how you look to you, which ultimately, of course, is the most important thing, how you feel about yourself. But with the more hard stuff, what we want is a real drastic change. So when we walk out into public, people are going to see us in a very, very different way, in a way that we really intend to manipulate. Is glamour magic manipulation? Yes. Is it a little bit on the cunning side? Yeah. But in my point of view, in the left-hand path, is that we're all manipulating each other. Humans collectively are all manipulating each other. Why? Because we're all one. So we're consuming each other to feed our needs intellectually. Right now, listening to me, intellect, you're consuming this. This is consumable. It is a product that is marketable. Believe it or not, it's true. I could write a book on this shit. Through beauty, so through porn, when people watch porn, they're consuming someone else visually to meet their needs to get turned on. It's what humans do. I'm just more upfront about it. So in terms of sales, people that work in sales, most personality types that work around sales are manipulative. They're looking for cues. They're looking for those standard 101 stuff like fear of loss. Hurry, sale must end. They're trying to put an emphasis of time's running out, quick, buy this. Like that's manipulation, guys. We're all manipulating each other to get our needs met. That's what humans do. All right. I know that sounds hard to hear, but it's actually the truth. Anyway. So back to the story. So 18 in the library, and we ripped out a page of the book, very disrespectful, don't care. That was how we were back then. And we had to perform this at a graveyard. We needed some tools, one of them being an avocado. And people think of beauty. Of course, they think of the avocado. Now, I'd done some general shape shifting of my face with like the light behind me and a candle, and it really, for me, began to work. I began to see what I wanted to see. A lot of stuff is psychosomatic. In psychology, which I also studied a little bit, if you can't tell, one of the things that I looked at, I think it was called, I can't talk today. It's called the Freudian slip, but there's also another one as well where, say, for example, you pull up at a red light and the light may not actually be the color red, but our mind is so used to it being that color that we fill in the blanks of that visual perception, if that makes sense. And to a certain capacity, this is what humans do. This is why the older that you get, the less magical a lot of people get. That's why children are very magical. Their magical powers are like 1,000-fold because they're so recently came down or back from source and reincarnated. So the older people get and the less imagination they have, the less magic they have, the less likely they are to see spirits or energies and stuff like that. Anyway, so we got the avocado and we had to, get a mortar and pestle, and we mashed it all up and we put in the ingredients. It was rose petals from memory. It was, that sounds like a very common glamour magic. So we got it all. I don't know the specifics of it, and I'm not going to go into that. But yes, it was the first real successful glamour magic that we had done. Now, we needed to funnel energy from something else that was no longer living or in the spirit world. So we went at the right time, we went to the graveyard, we sat on a grave, and I very specifically the spell required us to break a bottle of wine over a gravestone. Now, I don't recommend this to just anyone, and looking back at this is so disrespectful to spirit, very, very rude, but that's just how I was back then. I'm just sharing my truth. I don't recommend this. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just sharing how I did this. And we had to, very specifically with our left hand, and of course with the left path, or, darker type of magic, we used, it's always left numbers. So it'll be 3, 5, 7, you get it. And so we smeared the avocado all over our face with all of the incantations. We did an invocation, and we really wanted, we were very specific about what we wanted to change. And at the time I had I had freckles on my face, little dots on my face, or I had some pimples. I had imperfections, what people these days would call an imperfection. She did it, I did it on her face, she did it on my face. We performed it, and we didn't really put a lot of effort into it. To be quite honest, it was winter, it was cold, and her smudging me with this, just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is so crazy. I don't really feel that my heart was really in this particular spell, but I just went ahead and did it. We both did. Anyway, we packed up, we got all of that stuff off our face, and we were just like, whatever, this is a little bit far for us. Like, we've never done this before. We thanked the gravestone. I remember the gravestone's name was, I think I might have mentioned, was Mort. That was the person's last name, Morte. And we I'm still friendly with this girl. Like, she's probably listening. Hey, we still laugh about this spell to this day because it was such an incredible time for us in our life. And I'll never forget this. We left, and of course, the next day, I woke up and got up an ordinary day, got up the next morning, and I had to go to work this particular day. I was waiting on tables in a restaurant, and I caught a glimpse of my face in the mirror in my bedroom. I had a mirror in my bedroom. My wardrobe had a mirror in it. And I remember looking up and doing a double take, like, what? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It was insane, off the charts. My eye color had changed, lighter. Every freckle, every blemish, every little bit of anything that was imperfection, any lines, nothing, gone. I am so dead serious. And the first thing I did was find the mobile phone. I first of all, it was to see a change like this was a shock. It was I still remember the feeling. It's like something out of a movie. I grabbed my phone and I called her straight away, and she wouldn't answer the damn phone. She's probably still in bed from memory. And I remember just trying to ringing her. And I'm looking at my face and I'm touching my skin. There was a very, very significant change in my face. My face had changed in a very unique way. It was surreal. It was like having a facelift or something. And I know you might be listening going, oh, you're 18, you were young, yeah, I was quite attractive as an 18-year-old. I did do modeling, whatever, but that's not the point. Please don't think I'm up myself like that, because I'm not. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not, I don't think that way. But this was incredible. Eventually she answered the phone a few minutes later. She picked up the phone. She's like, hey, what's up? She's like all half asleep. I'm like, shut up, get and get in front of a mirror right now. And she's like, oh, shut up. No, seriously, do it. Get the mirror, go, quick. And hold the phone, keep the phone. So she got up, she's like, oh, hang on. She got up and she looked, and then I very distinctively remember the mirror dropping the phone dropping on the ground. I'm like, are you there? Ants, pick up the fucking phone. She picks up the phone and she screamed. I remember this, oh my God, what the fuck? She had this, it was working. Something had changed. And she was like, just incoherent. For the first 10 minutes, we were chatting and I was like, just stay there. I'm coming over right now. Fuck work. I'm getting in my car. I'm coming over. I need to see this with my own eyes. I remember driving over to her house. She lived on the other side of town. I was driving like a lunatic. And we lived in a country town at the time. I got to her door, ran into the back of her place and just went straight up to her and just could not stop looking at her, touching her. The same thing had happened to her. Her face had completely changed. And it was quite incredible. It was only on her face though. And I remember her face, like was a bigger girl. And so obviously, so I'm being honest, so what had happened was her face had all lost weight. Like her face had sucked in a little bit, like around the cheeks. Her jawline was coming out. Her cheekbones were popping. There was like a rosy glow on her cheekbones. And her eye color was just like off the charts, like really a very beautiful light brown. And it was just there was something like, and this, guys, this is not psychosomatic. This is the power of a spell that is performed correctly. You mean it, you did it, you released it, and this is happening. And so for the whole day, we just hung out in her bedroom. And we just just could not stop looking at ourselves and talking about it and trying to document it. I took photos, trying to do how long is this going to last? Like, what if it doesn't stop? Like we were just in cloud nine. We couldn't believe it. If you've ever done a spell or you've ever really, really wished for something to happen, this is what a beauty magic feels like for me. Well, for me anyway. So I took the day off work, we hung out all day, we went down the street and we wanted to see what would happen. Like we are, and I still am very experimental with this type of stuff. So we went down the street and we walked around and people were looking at us differently. There was definitely some kind of energetic shift that had occurred that had just changed the way people were engaging with us. We walked into a shopping center and people just all of a sudden just start looking at you. You can feel all these eyes on you. You can feel that there's something about you that is pulling people towards you. So yeah, that was one of the first real successful attempts that I have done with glamour magic. Now, on the other side of this, I'm going to be honest with you, I believe that this wasn't just a regular spell. I believe that some kind of spirit or being kind of helped us through this. Some occultists might think that that's not possible. Maybe they think, no, well, spirits don't really do that. Well, in this case, they did. I can totally right hand on my chest tell you the truth. It happened. Now, the spell the result of this only lasted no longer than a couple of days. Within 24 hours, everything just started to go back to normal. Gravity started to take a toll. My face started to just change back to the way it always does. The lines started coming back and, freckles, dots, moles, like all those little blemishes, all those things. It was almost like wearing a filter of some kind. You know how you get like a, filter on Instagram or a filter on social media? That's what it felt like. Very, very, very interesting experience, and one that I'll still speak of this day. So yeah, I think when you start getting results and you start seeing that this is real, magic is possible, it really shifts your confidence level because you believe in it more, and the more that you believe in it, the more powerful the spell is. Why? Because I believe and I teach that we are creatures of desire. We need to have desire to create a need. To have a need is why we would even do magic in the first place. I hope that made sense. So yeah, and so having confidence in yourself is the greatest power of all. And so whatever it is around you that you can pull in closer to you, do it. For me, I'm very big on Venus, and Venus is planet Venus. It is Aphrodite. It is Adonis. It is the Greek pantheon. It's what's her name? Hathor. It is the Oshun. It is the power of the beauty and nature. So I surround myself with all of these beautiful butterfly prints, nature prints, deer horns, bones, animals. My house has got a lot of eclectic occult stuff, and it's beautiful. It feels beautiful. When I come home to my house, I've created a sanctuary that amplifies my power back into myself. It recharges me. It replenishes me. I like to go swimming every morning, which really has made a big change in my life. Why? Because I'm in water. So things that you can pull in closer to you, even if it's a talisman, even if it's those jeans that you feel sexy in, you've got to pull something in that makes you feel good about yourself. If you don't feel confident about yourself and in your own skin, you're screwed. That's why it is very difficult to tell someone that is very beautiful that they're beautiful if they don't want to believe it. If they choose to not believe it, they don't want to hear about it, they don't want to know about it. Well, I can't change the way that you see yourself. And I have a girlfriend actually, and she's very beautiful, but she won't. This is a friend of mine, and I'm talking out of turn. I know you're probably listening to this video, but I tell you all the time how wonderful you are, but I don't feel that you believe it. You just don't believe it. And I can't make you believe that. You have to believe that in yourself. So whatever it is, think of like American Gods. Think of the deity, the actress Yetide that plays Bilquis. Think of like her apartment. Think about how she uses the magic to funnel back into herself. That's the type of beauty magic that I think about, because that is a magnitude. When someone's strong and assertive and confident, that is a magnetism. That is a strength. That's the beauty of the divine masculine, which is assertive. It goes after what it wants, and it's unapologetic for what it is. You're not questioning what you are. You just are what you are. You don't need, like, true beauty to me is someone that doesn't need to affirm or have other people affirm to them what they are. They just are what they are, and they just live their life as such. They're not looking for adulation all the time. Or at all, if ever. They just are who they are, and they have a relationship of truth and strength within themselves where they know their limitations and they walk that path. Now, in a relationship, it is very interesting, but when I think about the complexities of a relationship dynamic, and I may do a video on love, like what is love, the definition of love to me, or maybe even a video on twin flames, because I have been asked to do this and I'm thinking about doing a twin flame video. Interesting topic, by the way. But fundamentally, if I was a psychologist, and I at one point wanted to be one at one point, but it never happened, fundamentally, I want to take out all of the complicated bullshit, and all we're going to do is boil it down to the most simplistic thing that we can. And that is, when your partner walks through the door, how do they make you feel? When they walk through the door, how do you make them feel? That's what it all comes down to. That's why we stay in relationships, okay? So yeah, and if you were confident in yourself and you've done the shadow work, you're going to have to face the parts of you that you're ashamed of. You're going to have to face the parts of you that you don't like, and you're going to have to actively start to change the way that you view those parts of yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to have to do the shadow explore. You're going to have to go a little bit deeper and go into the parts of you that you don't want to address, and the parts of you that you don't think other people perceive that they like of you, and be okay with that and encompass that and even bring that out of yourself and examine that in a way, if you can, with a friend, or even try it on your own. As I believe shadow work should always be done with another person. I don't think it's something you can really do on your own a lot, to be fair. But yeah, if you can be gentle enough within yourself to really try to look at the parts of you that you just don't think are special and shift the way your mind is, then you can shift or change the way that you truly are projecting outwards to other people. This is psychological. It's psychological magic. It's mind magic. Yeah. Shifting energy within yourself to change the perception of how that's seen. So you've got to come to terms with, like I said at the start of the video, what are you? Because energy can't lie, yeah? So you can't change the fact that you're the certain height that you are. You can wear high heels or wear platform boots or shoes that give you extra height, might give you some more confidence, but ultimately you have to be okay with the height that you're at. You know, you can go to the gym and eat a chicken a day and try and build up muscle. That's a work in progress. Yes, you can change that. You know, you can change things about yourself from a perspective of wanting to do it for you. I would not recommend doing it for the external world. A lot of people that have these procedures, they regret them as they get older. They look back and go, I shouldn't have done that. It looks like because it might have looked good back when they had that surgery or a facelift done back 10 years ago, but now their body's aged even more since that facelift. So it's almost like they have to keep getting more surgery done to recorrect the change as your body's changing. So it's really about coming to terms with loving yourself and rejecting the collective narrative that you have to be something that you're not. Okay? So at the end of the day, if you can meet someone and you can be with them and sit with them, no makeup, no hair product, because there has to be a reality to you. You can't be this perfectly coiffed person all the time. When I wake up, my eyes are all fucked up, my voice is all like, I look like shit. That's reality. That's life. And if someone can be okay with that, and you can be okay with that, them being that for you, well, then we might have something that if you can't do that, how far can you go? If someone can really sit with you and you're not pretending, you're not projecting on anything, you're just being yourself, well, then you've got some potential there. Yeah. So it's really about being in gratitude about what the fuck you do have and honoring that. So if you've got bigger hips, the skinny girl's probably looking at you wishing she had those hips. You know, you've got to really look at what you have and be realistic with that. And use glamour magic in a way that you can just project into yourself to give yourself that confidence, whether it is a garment, whether it is jewelry, whether it is getting your nails done, getting your hair done. Do things that make you feel good. For me, if I'm not paid well in a workplace, I'm not sticking around. If the morale is shit, I'm not sticking around. If I don't feel good, I don't look good. It works psychosomatically. I understand I have bad days, we all do, but I want to be vibrating at a frequency that is higher, which means I need people around me that vibrate higher. That's what I was saying in my videos earlier this year. I don't want low vibrational people around me. No personality, always tired, yawning, no energy. Bye, see ya, next. Yeah, that's how I am. Okay, so I hope that made sense. And so I have come to terms with my body's changing, and I'm always in a state of change and flux. I don't have the waistline that I had when I was in my 20s, and I was a model. I did work in the modeling industry. I was with one of the best modeling agencies in Melbourne, and in quite a number of them. Yeah, I did editorial work. I did magazines. I did TV commercials. I even did reality TV. And what I can tell you is that I was in some of the darkest times of my life because the people in the industry is toxic, it's phony, it's fake, it is disgusting, it's spiritually filthy. And I had to go into that and it's not real. It's not real, yeah? So I'd go into that industry and I was trying to find a sense of validation because I had very low self-esteem. So in my teenage years and in my early 20s, right up to my mid to late 20s, I had lower self-esteem. So I was always trying to get validation from somewhere outside of myself. And I surrounded myself with some really fucked up people. And that's where I had a massive eating disorder. I used to just live off a cup of soup a day, one boost juice and one steamed dim sim, and that was my life. And that's not sustainable for a human being to optimally function. But I did that and I starved myself and I used to dream of hamburgers. I was always punishing myself. I didn't have self-love and I didn't know how to love myself. And it wasn't until I had to see the extent of how bad this industry was and how bad it was for me that I could really come to terms with owning the shadow side of it and rejecting that and not looking for outside. Like, I don't need to be told that I'm a beautiful man. I already know that I am. I know that I am. And I have a very solid, look at that. And I have a very realistic look at that. I'm like a tree. I have very strong roots that go into the ground. So when the wind blows or someone makes a comment or someone says this or that, it's not going to rock the core of who I am because I am in a place of peace. That's where I'm at. And if you could only see how unpeaceful I was to where I am now, I mean, I have come so damn far that it's insane. So yeah, there are a lot of beautiful people out there that are, pretty. It's a lot of pretty flowers out there, but you've got to have. For me, you have to have intellect. You have to have something of substance for me to want to, forge a relationship with you. Like I said, low energy. It's just not going to work for me personally. That's what I go for. And I also understand that all of the scars and all of the trauma, wounds and all, warts and all, also make me who I am. They have forged and they are part of the experiences of who I am. So when I do a spell, I am ultimately coming forth with all of the knowledge that I've acquired and all the lessons that I've learned from all of the setbacks and trips and falls and face plants that I've done just to get to this point of where I'm at now. So yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at time. We're nearly at an hour. So this has gone quite long, but I am trying to pour out my heart in this video and talk about magic. And also, particularly for women, because a lot of women are in the witchy world and they're always looking at glamour magic and stuff like that, a lot of the oppression towards you is denying you of your own sexuality. A lot of oppression, and that does come from a patriarchal place. I will not lie about that. It does. It's if someone is telling you, you're too sexy, don't dance like that. You're too much, you're too this, you're too that. Well, that's them asserting themselves over you because they're scared of you. They don't want you to come into your own full power because that means you could outgrow them. Your power might rival theirs, or you might so you've got to get out of that way of thinking. And, the perks of being a wallflower suck. No one wants to be invisible. No one wants to feel invisible. Can you do spells to make yourself invisible? Yeah, probably. Not that I would ever want to. Why would you? I mean, it would be a cool superpower, but no. You want to shine your light and embrace your power. And so visualizing the change that you want psychologically and affirming that through, is that thing that's going to make that confidence to give you the beauty that you ultimately want. Or you can, every day, look in the mirror. Now, affirmations don't work unless you believe that they do. So you have to really put your heart into it and really believe that you are amazing, that you are incredible. You have the power within you to make this change. And you have the right to ask for what it is that you want. Okay, so once you've decided what it is that you want, it's really about getting a plan and engineering that plan, whatever it is and whatever capacity it might be. That's what ultimately magic is. Even if it's just 10 minutes a day, that's enough. When you play, now you could even enchant your makeup. If you're, into makeup, you could enchant the makeup, you could bless it, you could consecrate it under moonlight or with a deity or whatever. And when you put it on your face, it's like putting on war paint. In a lot of different cultures, in times of war, they would wear war paint. In a lot of different cultures, in times of ceremonies or marriages, weddings, anything, there's always some level of dressing up for something. It's crucial. It's part of that interpretation and that offering and that energy. So whether it's eyeshadow or lipstick or sparkles, that's why I say just get really creative with it and really envision what it is that you're wanting to do. So yeah, if you're looking for a video that just gives you 101 spells, this is not it. This is more of a reflective chat of my experiences with glamour magic, Now, I will mention the darker side of that spell was after I did that spell, just going back to my story when I was younger, I remember things started to go wrong around me. I all of a sudden, I had a lot of car problems. My job dropped. I got fired. My jobs dropped off. I'd like pick up a pen, it would run out of ink. Like a lot of discord, very low mood. This was straight after performing the spell. Yes, I got results, but the next few days that followed afterwards were really not a good time for me. And nor it was for her. It was like things suddenly just changed. And I think what it was is that we'd meddled with something and then we were facing the consequence of that. But I believe that that was probably an energy or an entity that was kind of doing that to us. But yeah, it very low mood, very low energy. That was like, yeah, it fucked with my chakras, I would say. But yeah. Oh my God, this has been so heavy. Yeah, so in order to do glamour magic, you really have to be prepared to just loosen the grip that society has on you and really understand the influences society has on you and really be prepared to walk your own path. And you are allowed to be seductive. This is the time when you're doing glamour magic, no matter how you do it, be able to claim your inner femme fatale. Be sexy. If it's like more pin-up girl, Moulin Rouge, like do something that makes you feel sexy. Get a corset. Do something that makes you feel desirable. Change your hair, put on a wig, do the best you can with what you have. That's what it's always about. But yeah, those additional steps that you can have can help get you out of a funk. Like if you're in a low mood or you don't feel good, just a change in your own energy of how you see yourself can really shift, your whole world, your internal. There's a world inside your head and then there's the world out there. And they are coexisting together and they're hand in hand. So, listening to experiences like mine, listening to other people's experiences, it could be like videos or, and there's just so many rabbit holes I could go down, but it's just insane. But I mean, that's the truth. The real power, the extreme power of a beauty spell is about abandoning the parts of you, that really hold you back and really know that it was you the whole time that was holding you back. You listened to that fool. You got yourself in this situation. You have to take accountability for where you are to be able to move forward. It's like being on a map. You can't move anywhere on the map until you recognize where you are on the map. You have to be really real with yourself. It's a willingness to be, what it is. But I believe that desire is the fucking rocket fuel of magic and glamour magic and materializing what you want. So start incorporating, glamour magic in your practice if that's something that you want to do. And really, just shift it in your head. That's the best advice I could give you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I may come back and do a part 2. I'm not sure. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let me know. What do you think about glamour magic? What do you think about what I've talked about in this video? Trying to do some kind of magnetism or trying to imbue yourself with more power. How are you portrayed? How does the world see you? How does that influence yourself? How do you see the world? It's such a complicated thing to talk about, but I hope that you have found this insightful and interesting. I've had a good time talking about glamour magic, and I will let you go, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know what that's going to be. Just share the video around. Let me know, and I will chat soon, and I'll let you go. I think I'll leave it here today. Blessings to you. Bye. Bye.